What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to keep up to date with the community Flat Earth Debate, then visit nathanoakley.com and join the forum there. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live. There's also a Patreon, PayPal and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly though, if you would like to join this discussion right here, right now, then simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Jose JG, Soundly Slayer Gonzalez and Sleeping Warrior. Good to have you both.
Soundly Slayer.
What?
So that's right, along with housekeeping, Nathan.
Any signs of curvature, gentlemen?
Well, hang on, let me re-ask it. Any signs of curvature, Jose?
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm joined by The Plain Truth. Good to have you.
Absolutely not.
Hey, Travis. You don't know what the question is. You've only just joined.
I heard the housekeeping question.
Oh, it's shocking. He's shocking. You see Jose running the minute he gets cornered. Hey, Jose, any evidence of curvature?
Yeah, Gonzalez
Yeah,
by name.
I'm gonna stand back for the housekeeping questions just for now.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
You can't come in here and avoid housekeeping because you know that it doesn't help your position.
No, I'm not gonna avoid it. I'm gonna stand back. Just I'm gonna withdraw the weapons for right now and put them on the table.
That's because you brought a rubber band to a gunfight.
Anyway.
Right,
So-
we'll move past it. It's fine, Jose. We'll give you special treatment like YouTube gives your comrades. Any signs of axial rotation?
Sorry, any signs of axial rotation, Jose?
I can't detect personally any signs of axial rotation. No.
Oh right, I thought sunrises and sunsets were the proof of for axial rotation. Is that not the position anymore?
That's visual. You know, that's what one of our senses. But as for detecting it physically, not really. Yeah, just by
really
visual.
It looks that way. I'll concede it does look that way. But when you come to measure that 15 degrees of rotation an hour, no one seems to be able to do it. Every time anyone does it with any kind of mechanism, it always seems to indicate that the stars are moving above us. That's not what's supposed to happen, is it, Jose? We're supposed to be moving.
Yeah, there's a debate alive about geo versus heliocentric models going on. I'm not too fine-tuned on the geocentric model, but it could work. Yeah.
Can you hear that motorbike? The loudest motorbike in the world.
No, I'm good. I've got a really bad cold. I can't hear very much, but let's move on. Any evidence that you can have a gas pressure without a container? Hey, Paul?
No.
Nope.
Nathan, did you watch Thingy last night, Globebusters?
I did. I watched you on Globebusters.
We spent a good nearly 2 hours, I think it might have been, just pulling apart everything that this moron says. And basically, you can't. It goes back to the maths, and he says that flat earthers reject the evidence, right? And we reject science. But when we do the science, we see that pressure equals force over area. But if you don't have an area, then you don't have a pressure. And he seems to think that that's still okay and completely predicted on his model. And I say, no, that's not your model at all. That's nonsense.
That's maths. That's not science.
Well, he says that we deny science, and part of that is the maths. And I say, well, when we look at what the maths and the science say,
good morning, guys.
doesn't seem to work. Hey, chocolate. Chocolate, your ex-girlfriend in. Chocolate, say hello to Jose.
What?
Have you noticed the one that's hurt the most by Jose's flip-flopping is Chocolate? He gets really upset. He's like, but Jose, how can you think it's a ball?
Shout out
I
to
just don't
Chocolate.
like seeing Jose throw away critical thinking. That's my problem. But that's okay.
I don't know how Jose
go for it.
Position. I've suggested that perhaps the reason why Jose flip-flopped was not because he believes that we live on a ball anymore. I think the real reason was because Nathan wasn't there anymore because he was going through his issues. And when I say his issues, I mean, obviously I'm referring to the account issues to do with the copyright strikes and all that stuff. And because he couldn't get his fix for that month period, I think that the ball has got the claws into him, and I think that he was sucked off. Sucked off. That's the wrong phrase to use.
You think it was because of withdrawal? I could go to Mandela Effect hangouts to kill the withdrawal.
I think it's withdrawals. I admit it. You couldn't come in because the shows weren't running because of these strikes, and you needed to get your fix, and you ended up going into Gem Panda's server of all places. No wonder you came. I remember when Mark Doxey spent a week in there, and he basically retired from Flat Earth as a result of it.
Yeah,
he was banging his head against the wall. So I can understand it going into that place. It's the swamp, but I just didn't think you'd realise. I thought you'd have realised it was the swamp.
Yeah, I put myself in that situation anyway. Either way, whatever it was, I put myself in it. You know.
You'll come back. Once you realise that the rest of the stuff falls apart, you can't hold on to a little bit of obstruction at the horizon and call it curve.
No. Jose won't come back for those reasons. He knows all those reasons already. He's become a fundamentalist. So ultimately, he's just gone back. He knows it's a religion, and he wants in on the religion. Fair enough.
But what if it's not only obstruction in the bottom? What if when I review the footage from the Pontchartrain Bridge and the Little Tensas Bayou, I got actual physical curvature on the structures?
I would be asking why you didn't have it on that building that we were asking why it wasn't curving away. Hey, Spurs. So the problem is, Jose, that the routine will always be the same. We'll say, well, how do you come to the conclusion this is curvature? And you will say, well, I just assume it, or I just decide that it's curvature because I don't want to go to the maths. And we go, okay, so it's curving away from you because you say so. So why isn't the building curving away from you? Why is it completely parallel to the ground? And you go, because 1 degree in 69 miles. And we go, well, you do want to go to the maths then. And then from there on in, it's in our you trust. From there on in. Until, as you questioned, what happens when you put curvature, alleged curvature, going into a diffraction limit on a foggy day in front of us? And we'll say, well, how have you reduced all of the variables down to R only? And you won't have an answer. Presumably you'll tell us that you don't want to use the maths. Right, Jose?
Yeah, math is not reality. My math can describe reality, but I'm not. Yeah, I don't want to go to the math.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
So hold on, Anthony. Hold on. Just let me just ask that question then. So the other day when you showed us that building obscured from the bottom up, why wasn't it curving away from us if it's on the other side of a hill, on a curve?
Yeah, the only way I can explain it is with math. Damn it.
So what you're saying is you do want to go to the maths when things get a bit awkward about the non-curvature that you present. Then it's explained away with maths why we're not seeing curvature, right, Jose?
Yeah, because even if I don't use math and I use a lot of leaning or a little bit of leaning, a lot and a little is math in other words. So yeah, I got no explanation without using any quantifiable explanation.
Yeah, but it's not a lot or a little. It's none, and we're asking why not, as opposed to why is there only a little bit of lean away on the other side of this hill you claim is obscuring it? Why is the 0 lean? And then we have to go to maths, don't we? And then we just take R.
But you know what? You know what? If I'm standing, let's say I'm against a wall, and I'm 2 inches against the wall, from my heels to my head, I'm just 2 inches away, and you take a picture from 10 foot away. You take a picture of me, and then you take another picture, but I just link myself back to the wall, the 2 inches took, and I stick my head in the wall. You take that one picture. You're not going to see any difference in the 2 pictures. It's going to look exactly the same.
Oh, really? So in that case, Jose, what exactly are you going to present us from the pylons or Pontchartrain Bridge? We're not going to see any difference, right? Oh, my bad. That's when you do want to present curvature. So sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Is that what you're saying?
The unique feature on the Pontchartrain Bridge is that it's one of the longest straight structures built on Earth. And it's not, you don't find those kind of structures everywhere in the world. So it's a unique place.
Jose, let me ask you a question. You know when you did your latest Bendy train tracks video, and you basically had your camera sat on the train tracks?
Yeah.
When you saw the locomotive disappearing off into the distance, but you could see that the tracks disappeared before the locomotive did. You saw that effect, right?
Yes.
Would you agree with me if I suggested that it reminded me of when we saw the locomotive clearly above where the tracks appeared to curve off? Would you agree with me? It reminds you of the you know when Soundly does his pylons, and there's that one big pylon at the back that seems to be like elevated, whereas all the other pylons appear to dip off behind what's called curvature. But the one at the back, the bigger one, is clearly stood on what looks like floaty air. Looks just like the locomotive, right?
I'm following. Yeah, I'm following your train of thought. Yeah.
So if you can demonstrate the locomotive floating above the train tracks, and we see a very similar looking effect in the pylon at Pontchartrain, the pylons. Perhaps it's the case that the pylons seem to be bending away for some other reason, some other observed phenomena. And we know it's a phenomena because the pylon in the background isn't doing the same thing for some reason. So perhaps the observed phenomena is not the curvature of the Earth after all, if the locomotive seems to float above the train tracks the way that the big pylon in the background appears to do the same.
I have to agree with you, perhaps, yes.
But yeah, Travis covered this. So Travis said, how do you discount all the other variables? The answer is you don't.
Yeah, I think it's impossible. It's almost impossible to discount or account for all the variables. It is up to interpretation, pretty much.
But yet the globe heads ignore them and just insert Jose, and say it's Earth curve, like you do without the maths. You just say it's Earth curve obscuring the bottom without it tilting away. Unless, of course, it's something that does tilt away, and then that's okay.
Sorry, Nathan, can I just quickly... Is this housekeeping... Have you gone through them all?
No.
Have you gone through the gas pressure thing?
Gone through 3.
Oh, you have?
Gas pressure,
sorry.
axial rotation, and curvature so far. Distance to the sun next. Was there a particular question you were hoping to be here for the answer? Spurs?
He went away for a brew.
Not at all. I was just hoping to be a part of it. That's okay, Spurs. So, any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Nope.
Can't prove the sun's a tangible object that we can triangulate, Nathan. Only on a model can we triangulate the sun and see what it does. But when real world it comes to do it, don't seem to be able to do it. Would you agree with that, Nathan?
Yeah, you can't triangulate the sun.
Oh, right. I thought it was just me on my own. Everybody must be thinking the same thing as me then, because can't triangulate this thing. Only on a reification model can you do it.
Hello, Wiggles. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Cool.
Oh, dear.
Well, it's okay. You can join in the housekeeping. So, Wiggles, or Jose for that matter, any scientific evidence of gravity?
Scientific evidence? What?
Gravity, Travis.
Yeah. I don't know. It's easy. You just drop something, it falls.
Sorry, Wiggles. Are you deaf or stupid? Did you hear the question, or are you stupid? I said scientific evidence. Do you know what scientific evidence is?
Yeah, like observed, repeatable experiments.
Experiment? Yes. A hypothesis test after observing a phenomena. So do you think that dropping something is a phenomena when you drop it? A man dropping something? That would be the cause. You dropping it. A man.
Yeah, the hypothesis is if there's an object on the surface of Earth, then it experiences a downward force.
If there is an object on the surface of Earth, you appreciate that your independent variable is your presumed cause. So if object on surface of Earth, so what you're saying is that is the cause. The cause being a surface-based object on Earth. That's the cause, is it, Wiggles? I'll tell you what, Wiggles. Shut your stupid mouth. When I ask what scientific evidence you have, Don't embarrass yourself. Okay, Wiggles? You clearly do not have the vaguest notion what scientific evidence is, or you wouldn't tell me. Why are you talking? Why are you talking? Why are you talking? I haven't finished berating you for your stupidity, so shut up and be berated for your stupidity. When I ask for scientific evidence, shut up! Dumb people seem to talk when I talk. It seems to be a consistent theme here. When I ask for scientific evidence and you tell me that an object in proximity to Earth is the independent variable, i.e. presumed cause of a scientific effect, otherwise known as a phenomena, I label you a retard. Don't tell me I'm ad homing you. It is self-evident based on your answer that you do not know what scientific evidence is, Wiggles. That much is absolutely apparent. You are stupid. It's not an ad hom, it's demonstrated by your words. Okay, Sunshine?
If you want independent and dependent variables, the independent variable would be the mass. The dependent variable would be the force.
Mass is a concept. Mass is a concept, Wiggles. Concepts do not cause anything.
Mass can be an independent
Excuse
variable.
me? Mass is a concept.
Yes,
I take it from your silence that you still don't understand what an independent variable is. It is something that is, number one, real. Number two, physically manipulatable by the researcher. Number three, it's your presumed cause. So you're saying the cause of gravity is mass, correct?
I guess so.
Oh, you guess so, do you, stupid idiot? I don't care about your guesses here. I've got a very specific question. Do you have scientific evidence of gravity?
I showed it last time. I just dropped an object and it fell.
That's not scientific evidence, you circle-jerking bonehead. I've just literally explained this to you not more than 2 minutes ago. Are you really this retarded? Answer me, I explained this to you not 2 minutes ago.
Nathan, calling me retarded does not...
Yeah, I'll call you retarded if you tell me that an object of mass in proximity to something is an independent variable. It's not, you complete bonehead. That makes you retarded by demonstration. I'm not ad hominem you. You have demonstrated just how retarded you are here. By answering my question, yes, I have scientific evidence I drop something. That makes you a certified retard. You don't have to like it, Sunshine. You could just answer no. I don't have scientific evidence, only my musings and religious belief. You could answer that, but you're a zealot, so you won't.
I'm okay with being a certified retard with a flat earth. That's okay. A flat earther. That's okay by me.
No, not by a flat earther. By demonstration, using your own words. Again, dumb. I explained this less than 60 seconds ago. I am not calling you a retard because I am a flat earther. I am calling you a retard because you gave me an independent variable that was not a presumed cause. Now repeat back to me. I am a retard, Nathan, because I labelled an independent variable incorrectly and declared it science. That's why I've been labelled a retard, not just because you're a flat earther.
The variable and the cause are like different things.
No. Again, an absolute demonstration of your total stupidity. In an experiment, your independent variable is your presumed cause. Telling me that they're different things is yet further demonstration to my audience of your stupidity. Okay, Wiggles? Now, do you have scientific evidence or not?
Like with gravity, like the formula is force equals mass 1 times mass 2 times g, big G, divided by r squared.
Sorry, G, that's gravity, the thing you're trying to prove, you stupid idiot. So you're presupposing gravity now?
No, this is like the formula that...
Excuse me, you've just given me a formula. I've asked for scientific evidence of this shit. Number one, you've given me maths, not science. Number two, you've presupposed G. So you've already got G. You're already presupposing it. It's in your formula, isn't it, Wiggles? So you're begging the question, zealot.
More evidence would be, I guess, like...
That's not evidence. What do you mean, more evidence? You haven't given me a smegging thing yet. Don't declare you've got more evidence when you haven't given me any yet. So, I'll say it again, and I expect an acknowledgement, because so far, You haven't given me one. You haven't acknowledged that you haven't given me an independent variable and you don't have science. Now you're giving me maths and saying I've got more, even more evidence. No, you haven't given science, you've given maths. And secondly, you've presupposed your outcome. You've just said G in the formula. So you're not proving G, you're assuming it in your mathematics. Not science, not formulated hypothesis, maths, and not proving G, but presupposing G. Now, I would like you, Wiggles, the retard here, to repeat so I understand that you will not circle jerk us round to this exact same point 5 minutes from now, probably sooner. Repeat back to me why what you have just stated is not scientific evidence, please, Wiggles.
So you're going to force me to repeat what you were saying so that it looks like you're right.
I am right. You have just given me mathematics and you have just given G in the formula, presupposing it exists, not proving it scientifically. This is the second time I've said it. I'm asking you to repeat it because I know I'm right. I know you are wrong, and so does everybody on the panel and everybody watching. The only person that thinks he's right and I'm wrong is you, the Dunning-Kruger moron.
Well, the 99% of the population of the Earth that thinks you guys are wrong. So,
hello, Narc. How you doing?
Hello, you alright?
Very well. Good to have you. Sorry, anybody on the panel tell me what fallacy that is?
Well, you appeal to consensus too. Nick.
Yes, that would be an appeal to consensus fallacy, Wiggle. Well done. So the very person who used the fallacy is the one that points it out. How ironic.
You used the fallacy too, Nathan. You said everyone on the panel.
I am asking. So now we have a burden of proof reversal fallacy. How many more have you got? I'm asking for scientific evidence of gravity. We're not moving on to what you think I am doing here. I am asking a question that you are failing to answer and demonstrating over and over again that you don't understand what science is, Wiggles.
Okay, so Nathan, you appeal to a consensus, and then that's okay. And then I appeal to a consensus, and that's not okay.
Sorry, I haven't appealed to consensus. I have asked for scientific evidence of gravity, and you have given me mathematics, pseudoscience, and presupposed your outcome. Then you have moved on to a burden of proof reversal fallacy and an appeal to consensus fallacy. So far, for you, not so good. So I don't need you critiquing me here when you are the retard. Clearly, evidently, by your own demonstration.
I dropped something, it fell again.
That's wonderful. That's your religious belief. Are you now moving on swiftly to asserting it as a religious belief?
Drop it, it falls every time.
Yeah, because it's heavier than air.
Have you got any helium to hand, Wiggles? We did this in the comments yesterday, didn't we? It didn't last very long before you went round in circles with me, did it? Helium balloon. Have you got helium balloon? Sorry, you've just asserted something that's false. A lie. Because I have explained this to you within the last 24 hours. So if you drop something that's got helium as the main constituent, that will go down, will it, Wiggles? Like you've just asserted quite boldly and incorrectly. Will you concede this incorrect statement? Because if you don't, I'm going to kick you out, you circle-jerking asshole. I'm already tired of you. You've only been here 5 minutes.
I thought you would understand, though, like, if
you haven't answered me.
Balloon
You've just made an assertion that everything drops to the ground.
Right, well.
So, no, that's a false statement. Are you going to try and work your way around it or just concede, like in the comments that you didn't do yesterday within 24 hours of now, that if you drop helium, it does not go down?
No, it goes up.
Oh, right.
If you drop a helium balloon in a vacuum chamber...
Sorry, excuse me. We're talking about scientific evidence of gravity. Things that occur in the physical and natural world, not in bloody vacuum chambers. I didn't ask. You didn't say. You said things drop towards the Earth always. I've dropped something, it always happens. I go to helium balloons and suddenly you're going to put that helium balloon in a vacuum chamber. Hold on. Who's got a vacuum chamber on the panel?
Not me.
Well, you can probably look up the video of it.
Excuse me, I'm talking, Wiggles. Is the answer yes, I have a vacuum chamber. I often let helium balloons go in vacuum chambers. Is that your answer or not?
I don't have a vacuum chamber.
So why the hell would you tell me to drop a helium balloon, something that's very common and easy to acquire, in a bloody vacuum chamber to make your point that things always fall down when they don't always fall down unless you remove the relative density the thing that actually causes things to go down. It's density. So if you remove the very thing that causes that, the relative density of the air, then it goes down also. Oh, well, that would be removing the very thing that causes that to happen, the relative density, Wiggles. So why are you telling us to remove the air? We don't live in a vacuum.
There's always a force.
This is just another religious assertion. You haven't demonstrated this force of gravity I've asked for scientific evidence of. Now you're asserting your religious belief again, you fundy. So you're just going to tell us that there's always a force? You bloody fundy. You bloody zealot fundy here with your beliefs telling us what's what. So there's just a force because you say so, dickhead. No. The question on the table is there any scientific evidence for this religious belief you have, zealot fundy? Tell us again that it's a force always. Tell us that, fundy. Come on, assert your religious belief again, fundy. Tell us it's always a force.
If you can't get it by now, Nathan, there's no hope for you.
Hope for me, fundy zealot? You've just told us with no uncertain terms this force is always happening. I've asked for proof of it. You've not given it. And now you've given your fundy zealot belief about it and just asserted it's true. You bloody fundy zealot.
Okay, so you're going to call me a zealot, rather?
Yeah. I have demonstrated that there's no scientific validity to your religious assertion this is true. In the face of that, you have said, having not conceded a single thing, that this force is true always. That's what you just said. There is a force. It just occurs. That's a fundy zealot belief. Let it sink in, fundy.
Well, there was something else I wanted to point out too, actually.
I don't give a crap what you want. I run this show. Once we get to the point that you say, no, I don't have any scientific evidence, only my assertion that it's real.
I can't reason with idiots.
Excuse me. Sorry, how many points have you conceded here? Other than calling me a name, that's an ad hominem. What you've just done is an ad hominem. You've not demonstrated my stupidity. You've not demonstrated why I'm an idiot. You have just used another fallacy, ad hominem. What you accused me of doing when I demonstrated your stupidity based on your complete lack of understanding of what the scientific method was. So I've demonstrated your stupidity. You're now saying you can't reason with idiots. No, idiots can't reason with normal, rational people. That'll be us not being able to communicate with you. You don't concede anything, Wiggles. You just hold your fundy belief. And once it's been demolished, you just assert it again. That's precisely what's happened here. You, not me.
Look out. They have mental problems. If you're going like that, please take your stuff and get the fuck out of my house. You understand?
Who are you talking to, Mark?
You might need to be muted.
Me?
Oh, was it not you?
No, it's not me.
That was Wiggles. I think he's getting evicted.
I can hear it. I can hear it as well. Not me.
Can I make an observation? Oops.
We'll just rattle our way through housekeeping. I don't mind staying on this point all day while Wiggles just remains the fundy that we all know and love and keeps circle jerking us. I'm happy to do this on Gravity indefinitely while Wiggles shows just how big a fundy he is, whilst telling the audience we're idiots.
I think it was interesting. I did this. It's actually happened at church last night or yesterday, but I thought it was interesting. The pastor used the word gravitas. I don't know if you can see my screen. I pulled it.
Yeah, you're up. You're up.
Okay. Back in the, I guess the 1500s or 1700s or whatever it was, the term gravity or gravitas has the idea of weight, you know. And it's funny how if you look at the definition that we use now, it's defined as a force. So in a way, they've changed the definition of the word, which, you know, if you drop an object, it's obviously heavier or more weightier than the air around it. You know what I mean? So gravity is relevant definition, but changing it from weight to force is where the issue seems to lie. Does that make any sense? Am I making any sense?
Of course, they interchange it. So when you try and time down to an independent and a dependent variable, at some point they play the old switcheroo and tell you that your independent variable is actually your dependent variable. Suddenly you're not varying the force that makes mass attract mass. Suddenly the independent variable is mass, and you're varying it to cause a force. So they switch it around interchangeably when you try and put them on the ropes. You just have to catch it when they do it. Of course, this would be with the current science ignored, and the old-fashioned science, which is no longer used, no longer applicable, and works in a completely different mathematical construct. It would be using that. Ignoring Einsteinian bullshit and going with Cavendish-Newtonian bullshit instead. Thank you for that though, Paul. Good point. Seems Wiggles has turned tailed and run, or he's being evicted. One or the other.
Difficult to tell which.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No.
No. What about a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Not whatsoever.
No.
Nothing can be measured deeper than almost 8 miles down, and that's the reality for everybody on Earth.
That's correct. Actually, it's 9 miles.
I thought it was 12 kilometres.
It's 8.
Nevertheless, we're jumping the gun slightly because that's kind of linked to the last question, which is any evidence of the presupposed R value?
Is the hangout glitchy or is it just me?
I think it's just you. It seems perfect this end. Anybody else got any technical issues?
No.
Could just be you, Jose. Not Jose, Chocolate, sorry.
It's probably just me.
I did initially trying to get in, but that was it.
Well, that pretty much
Chocolate, he
concludes,
called you Jose.
that concludes the housekeeping anyway. Thank you for your attention.
What, did I miss the gas pressure question then?
Yeah, you came in a little bit late.
Let's ask it for him. And then, how can you have a gas pressure without a container?
Well, are we talking about a vacuum next to an atmosphere?
No, because then the question would have been, how do you have a vacuum next to an atmosphere? The question is, how do you have a gas pressure without a container? Okay, we can ask that one if you want. How do you have a vacuum next to a gas pressure without it spontaneously?
Yeah, what they've got, what they proposed was a thing called a fusor. I don't know if you've heard of that.
A what?
Fusor? Is that how you pronounce it?
Is there any evidence to support this fantastical sounding phrase, word?
You have to say the word again, Spurs. Can you just spell it?
Fusor.
Okay. Never heard of it.
So what they're proposing is that inside, I know you're probably going to say there's a container, but they're saying that within this container is a vacuum.
Sorry, Spurs. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you just say in this container?
I know. I said this to them. I said, before I even get out 3-4 words, I'm going to use the word container, and that'll be the end of the conversation.
So you did say in this container then? Yeah. So to get F equals MA, you're gonna need an area then, right? A container to press upon. The necessary antecedent for gas pressure. You mean that is still required in this example? So the very thing we're trying to prove.
But I think they're trying, Nathan. They're trying to answer this question. They're taking it very seriously. It looks like now, and they obviously realize there's a problem. So they're trying now to have gases and vacuums side by side, and this fusor thing, if I'm pronouncing it correct, it's like a nuclear. I'll post a link in the chat here. Yeah, of course it has a container, so it doesn't wash. Yeah, absolutely. But they're saying, well, within this container we have a vacuum next to a gas pressure, and So this, I don't know. Is it evidence? Probably not. But what it tells me is they're trying.
Listen.
Go ahead.
I think that was a random interruption.
Yeah. So this tells me that they're trying. They're definitely trying to figure out if this can be done. But yeah, I already said when I was discussing this yesterday, I was like, as soon as I saw a container, because before he was saying, "Oh yes, we can have you know, vacuum next to a you know, atmosphere and things like that." I was like, "Well, can you show me?" He was like, "Yeah, sure." And then he showed this, and I was like, "Ah, there's a container around it." He's like, "Yes."
Spurs go
Sorry,
so far as to say like this question is very important for them to answer, and I think they're starting to see that it's fucking with them. That they need to be able to answer this very question, otherwise, everything they're fighting for is going down the toilet. Because the more people that start realizing this,
I'll just say quick hello to Arwin. Hello, Arwin.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, chocolate.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean,
that's pretty much it. I mean, they need to answer this question.
Yeah, precisely, and I think this is their attempt at having side by side. But again, you know, container. You still need a container, nonetheless.
Yeah, the question's very specific. How do you have gas pressure without a container? Yeah, I'll stress the thing I stressed when Jaron interviewed me. The reason they're taking this seriously is quite simple. This is the single best heliocentric debunking there is, bar none.
Right.
Space is completely fake. It's a second law of thermodynamics violation. You cannot have gas pressure without a container. You need an area for the gas pressure to press upon. And in the heliocentric world of bullshit spinning spheres, flying through, what's it flying through again? That'd be it, the vacuum of space. A bullshit medium that cannot possibly exist. It's the best debunking there is. Just say to random stranger, how do you have this gas canister full of gas without the container? And they'll laugh. And then, hey Rob, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very well, good to have you. Is this your first time on?
Yes, sir.
What's your deal then, Rob?
Wanted to talk about your no container, non-containerized, pressurized gas crap that you go on with here. Here's the thing with what you're saying. You in flat Earth, you believe that everything stays on the ground due to density and buoyancy, correct?
Well, hold on before you go on, because you're probably going to get shot down. Can we? You understand what we're talking about? Gas pressures next to a vacuum.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so try to keep within that framework.
Oh, I am. So everything stays here on this flat Earth because of density and buoyancy, correct?
Sorry, that's a straw man. You're now trying to put an argument that we have not made forward. So, what our question's specific. How do you have gas pressure?
I'm explaining how you do not.
And
need
you're
a
talking over me. I didn't talk
gas.
over you. I let you talk and strawman us, then pointed out the fallacy. Now you're talking over me because you don't like it. Tough. Shut your mouth while I talk. So, the question is quite specific. How do you have gas pressure without a container? Not how do you strawman us about what we do not assert.
You have gas pressure without a container?
Without a container? Yeah, repeating my question with an upward inflection isn't answering it. Don't repeat the question with an upward inflection. Without a container? Yeah, that's right. That's the question.
They're two different things. They're two different things. You're talking about gravity, and then you're talking about the vacuum of space. They're totally different. They're different sort of subjects.
So when you're up in a MiG-29 at 70,000 feet and you can't breathe because the atmosphere is too thin, but on the fucking surface of the Earth,
Can you stop swearing?
Just fine.
Can you stop swearing, please? I know this is annoying, but don't swear.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've listened to your show quite a few times. I didn't realize there was a no swearing rule the way you go on.
Really? That's interesting because I have said it over 700 times at the beginning of every single show. So, clearly you are deaf.
You've sworn over 700,000 times throughout the show, so...
Sorry. I mean, is this your rules and your hangout? Or is it my rules and my hangout? So, I assure you, you do as I say, not as I do.
Well, at least he's being honest.
Yeah.
So, do you have evidence of gas pressure without a container, or are you going to tell us about the gas pressure? Yeah, you're doing it again.
Are you going to tell us about you're doing it again? And less up at 70,000
doing it again. You're talking over me for some reason.
Show me gradient pressure in a container.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear that because you started talking while I was trying to clarify that you talked about aeroplanes rather than giving us a demonstration of gas pressure without a container, which is the question.
The surface of this flat Earth is a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. You're not going to have gradient gas pressure in a container. You know, we got pressure on. We got pressure down here. We got less pressure at 70,000 feet.
You actually will. If the container is large enough, oh yes, you will.
Yeah, the necessary antecedent for gas pressure is something to...
Well, in that case...
Yeah, you're doing it again. You're doing it again. I got halfway through a sentence, you asshole. What is your malfunction? What is your problem? I got halfway through a sentence, you started talking. The necessary antecedent to have gas pressure is something to press upon. And you're saying, no, we experience it here on the ground and there's nothing for it to press upon. Well, no, there is no single demonstration of gas pressure being maintained without a container, which is why we precisely ask for that. Anything? You came in with this assertion. This was your point to come in. About gas pressure nonsense that we assert, you said.
Well, you seem like an intelligent fellow academically. I'm trying to figure out how to put this into words that's going to make you actually listen to it and understand how your very own flat Earth theories explain how you can have gas.
Why don't you just speak English, bro? Why don't you just speak English? We understand English.
Our flat Earth model does not have a outer space.
Okay, I'll try it again. What's your name? Is it Rob?
Yeah.
Rob. I'll say it a little bit slower this time. That is called a straw man argument. It does not address the question. It creates a position that we have not taken so that you can attack that. Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay.
However, just because in our atmosphere down here on the ground, we need to have a container to put propane in or ether in or vaporized alcohol in, that does not mean that the atmosphere that we live in requires a container. The density it could just be as simple as the density being enough to hold it to the ground. Like is enough. Like what's the pressure of the Earth's atmosphere? Like how do you,
in opposition to a huge outer space vacuum? Really?
Yeah, I was about to
even
say
if it's not a huge outer space. If there's no vacuum, then why do we need a container?
Sorry, if there's no vacuum, your religious belief has a vacuum. So why would you create this new straw man if there is no vacuum when that's the very thing the question relates to? Specifically relates to, you're doing it again. Specifically relates to, in quotes, the vacuum of space, end quotes. So not if it hasn't got a vacuum, it is in your religious belief about what the sky is.
Okay.
Can I just say something quickly to Rob? Rob said in a can, there's no layers. I'm looking at science, how science works, how stuff works, and it says a spray paint requires a little mixing. The product inside can separate into layers, which must be shaken to mix with the propellant before use.
Yep. Exactly, which is why they put the little.
There is a gradient in every container. There's a gradient.
Okay, with
inside you need to mix, right?
With can I ask? Well, can I say something real quick?
Yeah,
with the heliocentric model of space, space is not negative pressure. Space is slightly positive pressure. So
excuse me,
like space is not a vacuum.
What would the rating be?
Like
what would the value be? What would the value of space be?
Well,
Give me in a number.
Look it up to get the actual value, but it's
so. Excuse me, I've asked you to qualify your
you're
statement, and you're saying that you've made a statement from ignorance. You don't really know what it is, and you can now go after making the statement to look it up. That's what you've just said, correct?
For the actual values, if you want,
I'll tell you.
You can look them up.
I'll tell you.
I'm telling you, it's not
no, I'll tell you, ignorant person. I do know that it's 10 to the minus 17 torr. So there's a massive pressure differential. If you've got a tyre at 40 psi and you press the valve, there's a tiny differential between that and atmospheric. Tiny. And yet the gas still fills the space that it's presented with a tiny differential. Now, the difference between 10 to the minus 17 torr and what we have here is absolutely enormous.
Well, so we're zero pressure then?
No. My God. Why are you even here? Why are you even here? Are you here for us to berate you? Are you a sadist? A masochist, my bad. Are you a masochist? Is that why you're here? So that you can have us point out just how stupid you are?
Have you listened to your shows?
I asked you a question. Why are you here?
I'm here because you can most definitely have pressure without a container.
So demonstrate it.
Yeah, can we see some evidence?
Open your door and take a breath.
Sorry, that's your religious belief.
You think you got a glass dome on top of a fucking flat
plate? Excuse me. Number one, stop swearing. Number two, that is the second straw man you have used. So do you have anything other than straw man fallacies to present us with? Because so far you've not demonstrated gas pressure without a container. You've just asserted it as your religious belief. Yeah, we can. Like that's going to wash here.
You demonstrated proof of a container, so you do the same thing with your argument. So we're both on the same field here.
No one knows. No one knows.
To prove it is an antecedent for gas pressure.
What argument would that be? Because I'm not making an argument. I am taking a dump on your religion. I'm not asserting anything. I'm asking how you, the globehead with a religious belief in outer space, you, not me, can demonstrate gas pressure without a container. That's not me making any assertion. It's asking how you justify your religious belief in outer space being a vacuum. So what exactly are you going to take apart that I'm declaring in that question of you and your religious belief?
Well, whether the Earth is flat or round, it doesn't change this.
It doesn't answer the question being asked either.
I'm answering it right now.
No, that's what I've just declared. It does not answer the question being asked. You've come in about, quote unquote, this crap you assert about pressure. So it's got sod all to do with what you've just strawmanned us with for the third time. Gas pressure without a container, that's what you came in for. And you've got nothing but strawmen.
Do you want your example?
Of gas pressure without a container? You've been in 15 minutes.
Do you want it? Are you ready for it?
Oh, hold me back. I think this is gonna solve the globehead problem of a vacuum of space existing next to gas pressure and being a second law of thermodynamics violation. This man who doesn't know the value mathematically of 10 to the minus 17 torr, he's gonna solve this problem for us. Is everybody ready? Is everybody holding on tight? Are we all sat down for this muppet? Yeah, we're all ready, mate. We're all waited with bated breath. Really excited.
All right.
Yeah, I'm excited.
No matter what the shape of the Earth is, there is definitely not a hard container around it. Therefore, we have gas pressure without a container.
Yeah, no one's
not
saying
rocket
that.
science.
Sorry, that's your religious belief. So what you're saying is you've come in here with no evidence, just your religious faith about what you've been told about what the sky is. That's your best evidence, your religious belief in this shit. Wow. Another fundy like Wiggles. Just got fundies on today who just declared their religious belief like it's proof. Is that the best you've got? Your belief. Wowee.
The exact same thing you got. You can't prove a container.
Sorry, did I assert there was a container? You assert there's a vacuum of space. I make no claims about what the sky is. Zero, you straw man using fool.
Why are we even talking about space? You asked about gas pressure.
Oh, why are we talking about space? I'll tell you. Because you, a fundy zealot, you have got a religious belief about what the sky is, and that is taught to our kids. That's why. You have got a belief about what the sky is, not me. I make no claims about what the sky is. I'm not a heliocentric priest on TV lying to children about a second law of thermodynamics violation. That would be you coming here just telling us it's possible, even though it violates the second law.
See, that's you straw manning now.
What? You think me pointing out the second law of thermodynamics is a straw man? No, it's a natural law, retard.
Let's try to get a different perspective. So let's say if I were to ask Rob, is Nathan wrong? You would say...
Who knows?
Right.
Nobody knows.
So if he's not wrong, we're trying to find out what is right. So do you agree about the gas pressure and container argument? Do you agree with that or not?
I believe that we don't need a physical container as in a dome around the planet, no matter what the shape is. No, I don't believe
in general, just in general terms, like what we know, we only know of gas pressures within a container. Is that wrong or is that right?
Well, clearly it's wrong.
So this is what we're trying to find out. How can we demonstrate that we can have gas pressure without a container?
Well, on the planet that we live, flat or round, it doesn't make a difference. We clearly have pressure without a physical container around this planet, no matter what the shape is.
I'm not asking. Yeah, okay, but that's not the argument. I'm asking you, can you demonstrate?
Sorry, you're not going to get anywhere, Spurs. All he's got is he's just done it again. So I've just pointed that out to him literally within the last 2 minutes. That is an assertion of your religious faith. There must be gas pressure without a container because we've got space. So it must be that way because that's how it is. Do you not understand how stupid that is? That's your religious fundy faith. While you talk all over the example, people don't like me pointing out that they're a fundamentalist. That would be you. You don't have evidence. You just tell us that's how it is and expect us to just accept it. We obviously don't have a container because I believe in space. That's basically what you're saying.
No. It has nothing to do with space. What I'm saying is we have gradient pressure on this planet we live on. We know that we can go high enough to require some sort of container around our bodies so that we can breathe because the atmosphere is so thin way up there. It doesn't matter what the shape of the planet is. It's clear that
you just strawmanned the argument. It's not about, you've just gone through the essential parts of the argument and then replaced it with the shape of the Earth at the end. This question is about the vacuum of space. And you've said, well, it doesn't matter about the vacuum.
It's gas in a container.
Yeah, that's the point of the question. It's about vacuum of space. So you're saying, oh, it doesn't matter about that. What I'll do is I'll try and answer the question about a pressure gradient and then say it's about whether or not Earth is round or flat. Even though it's about outer space, the place that your ball Earth sits in, the fundamental, the biggest part of your religion, and I mean physically biggest part, is the vacuum of space. It is the foundation of your religious belief. And when we say, how do you have gas pressure without a container? Looking up at the sky, thinking, why would they ever assert that's a vacuum? You say, it doesn't matter about the vacuum. Yeah, that's what the question's about, you moron.
What is the second law of thermodynamics, Rob? Do you know it?
No.
You don't know the second law of thermodynamics?
No, I don't play with science.
It's not science, it's a natural law.
Claim to know
wow.
There is no
Let's just stop him straight away. Nobody declared that was science, except you just then, retard. That's a natural law. Natural law. Not validated by hypothesis. Not validated by systematic experimentation. A natural law. Something which occurs always.
But remember, Nathan, a lot of these ball earthers, right? They haven't been. I remember you had a show the other day, and we actually taught somebody the scientific method, how to go about the steps, and he was like, so it's like this, it's like that. And Rob seems very similar. He's lost when it comes to science. He's lost when it comes to the laws of what we understand. And I think if he understood the second law, I think if a lot of people understood this second law, they just would agree completely. Right now, I think he's coming from a position of they wouldn't lie to us. you know, they have the facts. Why? That's what it seems to me. But oh, he's gone. He's left. But I think that's what it's about. They simply have not been educated correctly how to work these things out. So
with that, I'm going to say a warm, massive, a huge thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. If you're watching on Nathan Oakley 1980, then stay tuned as there will be a short after show to follow. And then if you're in the live audience on Nathan Oakley channel, then stay tuned as the second show will follow in about 10 minutes time. Be sure to check out the forum on nathanoakley.com. I've been Nathan Oakley and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!